I am the Salmon River. More than water rushing to the sea, I am the pulse between earth and ocean, the thread that binds the mountains to the deep blue. Through forests thick with towering pines, I carve my path, weaving roots of the land, nourishing soil, feeding life unseen. I am home to the wild and the whispers of the wind. The fish know my song, ancient, eternal. Born in my clear pools, they journey far, to the vast, open sea, only to return, for I am not a river to them, but a memory, a promise kept with each rise of the moon.
As more recent visitors to this place, we've done a lot of things that have changed the dynamics of the Klamath Basin. We did a bunch of mining, canneries, logging through dams all up in the river that blocked, in particular, the spring run Chinook. We've been holding on by a thread, in particular here on the Salmon River, with this very unique and important run of spring salmon. The last 9 years there have been well below 1,000 fish, and so I'm a little worried about the Salmon River and the spring Chinook, and I'm really hoping that having the Klamath as an opportunity, the upper basin as an opportunity post dam removal, is going to turn this all around. So what you're doing tomorrow is super special, and I really do appreciate you coming out.
So we're gonna practice looking down and then looking up and then getting ourselves up, but really it's kind of to just get comfortable in your group little here.
So if you just kind of push your head down, overhand freestyle stroke at a 45-degree angle, that will end you up where you want to land on the opposite bank.
The Salmon River Restoration Council was formed in 1992, and it was formed as a result of the community finding out how few spring Chinook there were in the river. And when Petey Brucker, the founder of SRRC, learned how few spring Chinook there were, he started a campaign in the local community to stop poaching. Because at that point in time, people still thought of spring Chinook as kind of part of their subsistence lifestyle in a place like this. But Petey decided to try and educate the community on how few fish there were and convince them that catching them was no longer sustainable. And that effort was really successful. He estimated it led to something like a 90% reduction in the take of spring Chinook at the time. And it motivated the community to come together around the idea that the community could have an impact on the management of the watershed.
Welcome everybody to the Salmon River. First, just wanted to ground us in this place. We are here in the unceded ancestral territory of the Kodamihu, Hooded tribe, and Shasta tribes. We are really honored to be here and helping to steward spring Chinook, who's worked really important machine all of the peoples of this area.
Though the community gathers year after year to help mend my wounds, I still bear hidden burdens that gnaw at my spirit as a watershed. It is the quiet accumulation of a changing climate and human land use that deepens my suffering, threatening all the life that depends on my waters. These forces work slowly, unseen, but their impact grows, and with it, the growing burden of those whose spirits are intertwined with mine.
The California Salmon River Basin is an interesting place. The first time I visited, I thought I was in this pristine watershed. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the most special places on earth. But a closer look and talking with people who knew a lot more about the river than I did at the time revealed that it's not pristine. It's not pristine wilderness. It's been heavily impacted by mining, by logging, by wildfire suppression. There have been a lot of impacts to the Salmon River that make it no longer the watershed that it once was, and each of these has in turn affected spring run Chinook and their habitat.
Spring Chinook have essentially been extirpated in the Klamath Basin through resource use, fisheries, climate change, dams. There's very few spring Chinook left in the Klamath Basin, and the only remaining wild spring Chinook are in the Salmon River and a very small number in the South Fork Trinity. The South Fork Trinity run is balancing on the brink of extinction. The Salmon River run has varied from the late 80s between, a maximum of maybe 1,500 or 1,600 fish and a minimum of 90 fish.
It's vital to have spring Chinook. It's vital ecologically and it's vital culturally. Ecologically, spring Chinook travel high up into watersheds, so they are bringing marine nutrients much further upstream than fall Chinook. And that's a huge input of nutrients, not only for aquatic ecosystems, but also for upland habitat, for the trees upslope of the river channel.
I know some tribal members that call them the snow salmon, and they come right as the snow is melting in the river. They have an easier time navigating up further into watersheds when there's more river flow coming downstream. Their strategy was to be able to utilize habitat that is otherwise unavailable to other run types, the fall, the winter. That strategy helped them to evolve to have a higher body fat content, which is really important when it comes to the human importance of spring run Chinook. Sort of extra body fat makes for an extra nourishing salmon. And one day we hope to be able to harvest spring run Chinook again, but for now we're just full on in let's save these fish before we lose this important genetic that is evolved here for tens, hundreds of thousands of years.
Starting in 2016, advances in genomics allowed researchers to identify a region of the genome strongly associated with run timing. They found that there was a single ancient evolutionary event that gave rise to spring run timing. And that means that if the spring run allele, if that variant of the gene is lost, it is not likely to re-evolve in timeframes relevant to conservation. So we need to protect it while we have it.
There was a time when this survey was a place that everybody in the region wanted to come to. You had the governors and their delegates trying to get up here to see these amazing spring salmon. I was diving in the beginning, seeing 200-300 in a whole, this reach. Now these guys are seeing 0 in that same reach.
The truth is in the pudding. Like my children tell me, the words don't mean anything anymore. They used to mean something, but now it's action. Acknowledgement's one thing, but how can we take care of ourselves? But in that process, I think we can prove we can take care of others as well, the way it's always been. And so I think that's what we're striving for, and that's what we're not going to stop until that happens. And that path runs parallel with the spring salmon.
When we bring the spring salmon back, it's for everybody, not just for the Chinook tribe. It's for everybody that lives on the river, all the animals, everything that used to depend on it. They're going to be living good again.
Another year passes as the people who care for me and fight for me stand resolute, determined to carry on. Their monumental achievements spark hope within me, but only time will reveal my fate. In the end, Mother Nature will win. But will it be in time to save the wild fish, whose spirit is intertwined with mine? I can only hope the world sees the sacred bond these wild fish share with my waters and takes action before wild fish fade into memory.